Twisting Cheese's arm.
All right, I have 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. It looks like all members are present and we have a quorum. Minutes were distributed already, right? Everybody's had a minute to read minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second. Sure. All in favor of approving the minutes? Opposed? Minutes are approved. We will move into our discussion items. We can start with EMA.
Not a lot's changed with us. They did have to change the date that we're gonna look at our emergency operation plan for the Bubba storm damage. They're not doing damage assessment and stuff, so they put it off till first of next month.
Okay. Anything else on EMA?
Nope, we're good on that.
Anybody else have questions on EMA? And we can move into EMS. I'll let you go over your reports. Ms. Bailey.
For March, I was just looking at the average response time, where it says 23. 23 was should be the number transported to Trousdale Medical Center. And transferred from 21.
I'm saying. Amy had trouble reading some of the handwritten stuff that you sent, so she just
Sure.
retyped it all, so.
The 6.8 would be the average response time for last month.
Okay. And then the 23 was transported to,
To Trousdale Medical Center.
and then the 21 that's in the transported to Trousdale Medical Center is,
Should be transferred from.
Okay.
We did 5 more transports than we did this time last year. Roughly about $5,000 in revenue from this time last year. Our insurance write-offs are. Those are the required ones that we have to do.
and the other miscellaneous write-off? Are those, is that part of
That's part of it. Yeah.
insurance? Okay.
And we didn't have any individual write-offs this month or last month.
It shows on your other operations report that you have $12,999.71 in write-offs. That says bad debt.
I got it. This one, yeah. Yeah. So bad debt would be. Almost people we can't recoup monies from.
So doesn't that fall under the resolution that we're supposed to go over those in this committee?
I think it's just, we sent out payments and we never received anything back. So then she rolls them into a bad debt for her line items for the comptroller.
But again, isn't this committee supposed to approve what's been written off?
I'll have to ask her specifically what the bad debt write-off is.
Okay. So,
So the charity write-off is typically what would be the, come under the resolution thing. Yeah, so there's.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we just need a list of what's being written off.
Sure.
Anybody else have any questions over these reports?
How's your staffing?
We've got. We're still, we have 4 paramedics now. We got 1 holding, we're trying to get in Alex. And waiting on his. Whatever's holding him up, we'll just be short having 1 paramedic. Having 2 for each shift then, so we're slowly gaining traction on. Staffing,
And still good on all your EMTs?
we got plenty of EMTs, you know, we get a surplus of EMTs actually just to maintain staffing that we have now.
Any of them looking to move on to,
They are, so a couple of them are doing, most of them are basic, so they're, a lot of them are in advanced class. We're doing an advanced class this fall through Ball State, so most of them are interested in going through that, so once they complete that, they'll be eligible to go to paramedic school if that's what they choose to do.
Do you have anybody that's interested in that program that you guys were doing,
So
the EMT classes,
the ones that we're doing here,
that there was bookings and stuff that was classes that were paid for if they went to EMT school?
right, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, that's the same thing. Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay, I'm sorry, bad death was turned over to collection.
Okay. Turned over to collections. I'll have to check with Mr. Beller and make sure that that's not something, yeah, I'll check on it, we're talking about it. On your expenditure report from Amy, I just noticed that your overtime is at 103.55% for the year. Just wanted to note that, you have a plan for that?
Yeah, because we added the 4th paramedic, originally. Let's cut down, you'll see the overtime, it's not built in overtime, just decreasing already. We get Alex on, we're gonna be 1 short, 1 paramedic, will having 2 for each truck, and that'll dramatically reduce it, so
Okay.
basically just trying to get him on.
Anybody have questions over the expenditure reports? The next one is the write-offs, and I think we've discussed that already. Anybody have anything else for EMS?
How often are on your uniforms, how often are people able to get uniforms?
Us, most of our new uniforms have been people we've had to hire here recently, so we've had to get new employees, new uniform. We typically do it, we try to do it once a year, once we get them established through, we'll have a particular week that everybody will turn their sizes in, what they need. You know, we'll order all the items that they have. Oh, I'm sorry about the other question.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
On the overtime pay, you can see 32,316 per month. What is the budgeted up front expectation for that? I know we have overtime in our budget expected because it's the way the valley fall.
Correct.
Well, what's it, 96 and then 180 or 100?
120.
120.
So they work either 96, 1 pay period, or 120.
So what, do we know what how much would be a regular budgeted monthly overtime?
They do, there's 3 shifts, 2 of them will do a long, so 2 of them will do 120 and then 1 short each pay period.
That monthly though is, I'm saying, is that
Every 2
30,000
weeks.
way high right now? or
Yes,
is that how
it's
much
been
it was?
elevated, yes, because we haven't had paramedics and staff trucks. It's- The next couple of pay periods, you'll see that it's that'll be decreasing.
That's kind of what I was asking, because if we're already at 100%, I assume it's fixing to need additional money
Yes,
in that.
well, we got additional money left over in the salaries and wages because we've been so short staffed, so we're gonna move some of that into the overtime line.
So there's a plan.
Yes,
Anybody else?
when's Alex supposed to start?
I'm not sure. Yeah, HR question, I guess.
Anybody else?
Mayor, do you know when he's supposed to start?
I told him I'd have an answer by Tuesday. By Tuesday. There've been a couple of issues come up. I talked to him today.
All right, we will move on into fire.
The report in your packet, and completed the hazardous materials class. Got 4 firemen that are scheduled to go to a live burn class the end of the month at the fire academy. We have secured turnout rental for them so that they will have approved gear when they go. Some of the classes that we're looking at structuring, they'd be both hands-on and or classroom classes during the next year, year and a half, are listed there on the page. And some of the things that we'll be needing pretty quickly, foam. Price list is running about $150 per 5-gallon bucket. We'll need about 10 of those 5-gallon buckets. We'll need some more flappers for grass fires. We need 2 sections of 3-inch hard suction. As I've said before, we need about 10 sets of turnout gear. They'll range anywhere from $2,400 to $3,000 per set. I found another vendor this past week that could have a 14-week turnaround on gear to our specs instead of 7 months. So at least we've got a better option going forward on a timeliness manner. And then need to pick up a couple of extension ladders to have on hand as well. The fire grant that we spoke about last month, 11,400, has been approved. The state has signed off on it, and I'm pretty sure the money dumped in the account here, a government account, yesterday. And it's an unusual type of grant where they give you the specific dollar amount up front, and then you go shopping with the funds. The grant was developed to purchase a thermal imaging camera and 6 SCBA bottles. Camera should be about $4,200. The SCBA bottles about $1,200 a piece is what was budgeted. Bringing that to $11,400. So now that the money has dumped, we'll look for vendors and get some pricing quotes and move forward on that part.
Do you have enough in your current budget to get the items that are needed soon
No.
on your list?
My budget is showing $36,630 in the 101. That is remaining unencumbered.
Correct.
Some of those dollars will be needed for other things between now and the end of the year, so I can't spend them all. And then there's $8,300, $8,324 unencumbered in 101 or 111, excuse me. But we'll mix and match and do the best we can, and some of those items we'll go ahead and move on and expend on.
On your bottles, Mark, are these replacing existing or is this 6 additional?
These 6 additional and it,
I don't know if you had any going out of date or.
I don't think we do, but these would add to their carbon wrapped bottles, 45-minute time duration on the capacity. But those light turnout gear need to be replaced every so often.
Those have to get pressure tested, what, every year or every 5 years?
I think they're 5, I'm not sure on the length on the carbon wrap bottles. On the next page is a incident summary. Breaks down the calls. This first one is from January through the end of March. 24 calls had happened during that quarter. One structure fire, 3 vehicle, 4 grass brush, woodland, and 3 in the hazardous conditions, 13 in good intentions or false calls. Dollar loss for that period of time, 37,000. 7.48 average person per call. Average response time, 8.29 minutes. If you flip to the next page, it's a breakdown just of the month of March, since we met last. Total of 6 calls during the month of March. Breaks each of those down into the nature of the call. And then the next page behind that is the same report covering the time span of January through the end of March. Total of 24 calls.
Any questions for Mr. Baylor?
I wanted to ask whether or not we're still making sure people that, haven't gone through the EMR training aren't going out to calls. First,
That's a risky question.
is it?
That's not my question.
Okay, well, they. Go back and forth. Okay,
Anybody have anything for fire? We'll move on into rescue. Mr. Harris let me know that he wasn't gonna be here, but you had, Mr.
He sent
Baylor.
me his, I guess what he emailed you
Yes,
about the training. All the driver training has been completed. One member completed the basic dive class. Education scheduled for the 15th of this month. It was postponed due to some conflicts with the tow company and getting cars here. Yeah, one member is scheduled to go to Swiftwater Rescue class. They start in May, so I'm not sure what class they're attending. TWRA is gonna come do a voter safety class for us. I think it's a date to be determined whenever they can get available. 2 personnel are scheduled to do the Vanessa K. Free EVOT instructor training course, the emergency driving training instructor course. And then we're working on rolling out a storm spotter program. With all the weather issues we've had recently, it's probably not a terrible idea. All the same vehicle issues are still the same. Nothing's changed with that. 2 and 3 are still out of service and unrepairable. 1 and 4, the ATVs and everything are all in service. And he's waiting for the state to come out with some vehicle contracting pricing to look at replacing at least one of the ones that is out of service. One new member of medical training, he's an advanced EMT. The 3 applications received are on hold due to radios, and we don't have PP. I think we've actually reached our limit for bylaw allowance on personnel, which is 20. I think we actually maybe have 1 extra person on that. We're working on ordering uniforms for everyone. We were awarded the Tennessee Fire Marshal's Rescue Squad grant. Working on the submission of the Gary Sinise Foundation grant. And there's some more information on grants that he's working on that he hasn't listed on here where we stand on them yet. He's working on some standard operation procedures and guidelines, which are about 40% completed. He expects it to be done by the end of April. And have all administrative, operational, technical, and personnel conduct included in that. In these new guidelines and policies.
anybody have anything else for rescue?
I can back up.
Sure.
Allow to go again. We'll talk about the brush truck meeting. The mayor did agree to a settlement payment from the insurance company. That payment was $174,033. That with that payment, it allows the county to retain the wrecked vehicle. And then we'll move forward toward getting a replacement truck for the fire department. I did speak with the vendor who built the wrecked truck. They have a chassis coming into their facility, either June or July of this year. And that chassis is on hold for us to construct a new truck with basically utilizing the same specs as the wrecked truck. And as soon as we get together and can confirm that with the mayor's office, and then we'll try to move in that direction. But that's the latest update. And those things have happened this week.
I'd just like to make a comment on that this committee did make a recommendation that we not do it that way, but it is in,
I heard that.
it is in the mayor and the department heads. It's up to them to do. It was just a recommendation from this committee. So that's what the mayor and the department head elected to do.
Did it get voted on by the commission? Did we vote on that commission?
No, it was just a recommendation from this committee.
It was not a commission issue.
Exactly.
On the new chassis, is it gonna be the upgraded one? That we
It's
just-
550.
So it is the 550.
Yes, that's what they have coming in. They were. The sales rep was going to review the quotes and make sure that they were still in line, given that we've had some time passed since we first contacted them.
Any other questions on the brush truck?
Same question to you, I guess. You guys share so many people. So I guess that's why I try to direct it. The EMRs,
No, we're gonna hold an EMR class here soon. I mean, Daniel got his EMR instructor cert, so we're gonna put on an EMR class here soon. Only time any non-trained personnel would come would be if they called after they're on scene and needed help with picking somebody up or moving a patient. So they're not responding initially to any medical calls unless they're licensed.
so they're still going out there?
If they need help lifting somebody, just in rare occasions. But they're not going as a initial response to do any type of care or anything.
Any other questions on the brush truck or rescue?
Well, like I mentioned one thing, rescue 2 and 3, they're out of service. We would probably like to strip those down and put them on go deals and just get some money out of them. We've had success with that in the past on some older vehicles that we put on there, so I'd like to recruit a little bit of money on that if it's.
I don't think that's a decision for this committee. I think that's the mayor and
Okay. That's been run by everybody.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll do it.
anything else on rescue? Any other discussion? Any public comments?
Hey, real quick, the only thing that I wanted to say about our meetings is that we don't have a place for old discussion. In ours, normally there's an old discussion, and then old business, and then we start in with new business. Sometimes I feel like we're not completing old business before we go forward with new business, and I think technically at this point, we almost need to scrub all the original minutes to see whether or not everything, check it off, whether or not we took care of this, before we go forward with any new business.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that because
Yeah, there's just there's a format that I can show you that it just kind of checks off. That way we just keep rolling forward with anything and not forgetting anything that's,
what's not been handled.
well, technically, right now, we come in and it's just like, several things are blasted or discussed, and we move forward, and some things that maybe haven't
You have the opportunity to change and make any.
yeah, we still there's supposed to be a part of it that's old businesses, if we could just insert that.
I I'm happy to put that on the agenda, however, there's no old business on any other agenda that, on the committees that I'm on, so.
There should be.
I'll check with the attorney on that, how about that?
No, it's, any of the minutes that are put in, it's old business. It's an easier way of rolling through all of it.
All right,
Is there any particular subject that you're thinking we've? dropped the
Exactly.
ball?
Actually, at this point, it's so run together, like I said, that like, if you think, okay, have we handled everything from the meeting like 2 months ago, or
but I think we have, that's why I created the agenda the way that I did, and don't put anything. I list everything that I think we are supposed to be handling, if there's something else that we need to be handling, then when I say, is there any other discussion? Maybe you should bring that up if it's something that you want to be discussed.
the old business is what I was, yeah, I've thought about it for a couple meetings, like, gosh, we should really put that in there.
All right, I'll check on it. Anything else? Motion to adjourn? Anyone?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting is adjourned.